Down. Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzetta. This right here is a little show we like to do called the Farzy Show. It's presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. It is, in fact, wonderful to have you along for the ride. You remember when you were in school? Remember school? School sucked. Well, at least for me. Remember when you were in school and the teacher would say, all right, remember the homework you didn't have? Where it just said, hey, make sure you study this. You know, it didn't say that there'd be a pop quiz the next day, but the teacher said, oh, tonight's homework, just study this. And then pop quiz. Yesterday's game was like a pop quiz for the Eagles. It was like they flew down to Tampa because they thought they were like on vacation or something. And they're like, hey, by the way, we're just going to go to the stadium here and just see what happens. Oh, okay, that sounds like fun. And then they went to the stadium. And they're like, whoa, what's that other team doing here? Oh, whoa, our pads are here? Are we playing a game? What? This is ridiculous. Oh, my God, we got to play a game? The stat that sums up, I know some people might jump to the 10 missed tackles by the 8:15 mark of the second quarter, okay? Some people might jump right to that, but I'm going to jump to 21 to nothing. There were 21 points scored before the Eagles got a first down. Let's think about this for a second. 21 points. Nothing. Like, literally nothing. Like, not even a first down. Actually, negative. Like, minus 5 yards. Like, that's not good. That's not good. That was a team that was not prepared to play. And to everyone that caught the pre- and post-game show yesterday, thank you, but all that. And thank you to people that caught the post-game show. It's Seth Joyner and Derek Gunn and myself. And we were talking about the dehydration and the heat and the humidity in Tampa and how at one point it got up to, it was at 105 for a while, and the index, whatever, got up to like 108. Like, that's what it felt like on the field. It was 108. Okay. 108. So I understand that's hot. I understand that's humid. I understand you don't exactly see that and go, oh, let me run around an open field for a long time. No, you don't want to do that. However, to hell with that. That's an excuse. That's an explanation for maybe later in a game for a team that might not be well-conditioned. Still not an excuse. And the Eagles did not look like a well-conditioned team at all yesterday. And this wasn't a problem in the third and fourth quarter. This was a problem in the first quarter. This was a problem in the very early goings of this game. Touchdown. Like, touchdown. Just, it was automatic for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense to slice through this Eagles defense that I actually had confidence in going into this game. Confidence. Believe that? Yeah, that was me Friday. Confident. Friday, I picked them 20-17 that the Eagles would win. Right before the game, I got that down to about 17-13. The Eagles would win the game. Oh, man, I was way off. Jalen Carter having a breakout game against the Saints. I thought, okay, all right, this is our new norm with Jalen Carter. Didn't exist yesterday. Jordan Davis once got into the backfield in yesterday's game, and then it just looked like he broke through the line of scrimmage, and it was like, okay, all right. Oh, he's not down? Oh, damn it. Okay, I'll just stop running. That was yesterday. Avonte Maddox with a horrendous missed tackle. Reed Blankenship on the third touchdown by the Buccaneers. They run that fourth and goal from the 1 play, or fourth and goal from the 3. And Baker Mayfield runs the read option, keeps it, runs to the right side of the line of scrimmage, is staring Reed Blankenship in the face at the 1 yard line. And Reed Blankenship goes, now is the time to do a formed tackle. Go right after the ankles. And he goes down, so technically not a formed tackle. Then he goes down to the ankles. He goes down to the ankles at the 1 yard line of Baker Mayfield. Did he think he was going to get juked out of his pads by Baker Mayfield? Did you think that was going to happen? Because that's the time where you have to tackle somewhat up top, not near the head. I know some people, you can't touch a quarterback above the shoulder pad. I'm not suggesting that. I'm saying you have to think logically. You grab him at the ankles, all he has to do is, gee, thanks, lean forward, touchdown. And that's exactly what happened. Nakobe Dean getting, I already used pads, faked out of his spikes yesterday. There were tackles. I think there was in total 14 or 15 missed tackles throughout the game. And that's being kind. That is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. There were so many missed tackles in this game that I was actually feeling bad for Vic Fangio. And I know that's an unpopular opinion today because he's the one that's supposed to be coaching these guys. In today's NFL, if you suck at tackling in week 1, you're going to suck at tackling in week 18. That you're not going to get better at it. All right. There's no time away from the game where you get to get better at tackling. You can't practice that. Oh, well, roll the donut and then tackle the donut. Oh, this is just like Mike Evans. Thank you. Thank you, CBA. This is what we all wanted. Oh, less tackling equals more offense. Yay! Yesterday was absolutely abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. In everything. Special teams, Isaiah Rodgers didn't even know the rules. Dude, I know you sat out of football for a minute, but it hadn't been like you weren't suspended 10 years. Okay? You didn't know that you couldn't push a guy into the punt return. You didn't know. We were unaware of that, huh? We're in the green room. We're watching that play unfold. Me, Gunner, and Seth, and we're watching it, and we're just like, oh, can't do that. Like at first, we're like, oh, that's interference. Oh, you can't, hit the punter, or you can't hit the punt returner. That's great. And then we watched the replay and went, oh, damn, he pushed him. Like, how do we, for those that don't know, my athletic career peaked in 8th grade. Okay. I played 1 year of football in high school. I played 1 year of freshman football in high school. I was a safety, man. I was a safety. Right? And, I knew the rule. And everybody played special teams, you know what I mean? I knew the rule. Everybody knows the rule. How does Isaiah Rodgers not know the rule? Not only did he not know the rule, he was like, I know what to do here. And here, okay, I'm going to, even before I get to Isaiah Rodgers, and I'll probably do the spiel again later in the show, before I even play for you what Isaiah Rodgers had to say after the game, let me just play this out for you, okay? I think, I know one was Jeff McClain, and I couldn't place the other voice. One was Dave Zangaro of NBC Sports Philadelphia. But the way it went was, I guess Isaiah Rodgers, people weren't expecting Isaiah Rodgers in the locker room after the game to be ready to speak. So oftentimes how this happens is one person will go up to the subject, okay? And they'll say like, hey, can you take me through a particular play? And then another reporter will see that person's talking, and then they'll scurry on over, and they'll be like, oh, well, I'm sorry, I missed the first part of it. What was that? And then another one, oh, I'm sorry, what was the first one? So this appears to be what happened with Isaiah Rodgers yesterday at his locker. So first reporter goes up to him and he's like, it might have been Martin Frank at Delco Times. He goes up to him and he says, so Isaiah, what happened on that the thing where you pushed the guy into Cooper DeJean? And he's like, oh, well, I'm a veteran. I thought you could, you go and you push the guy into that, smart veteran play, and you go and you do that, and you do that. And the reporter's like, oh, so you thought you could do that? He's like, oh, I thought I could do that. And then another reporter goes up and goes, hey, sorry if I'm making you repeat this, but what did you think again? Like, are you sure you want to tell us all this? And Isaiah Rodgers like, well, here, I just told him, but here's what happened. So I thought I could make a good veteran play and push the other guy into him, and then we draw the penalty. And then last guy in is Dave Zangaro. Dave goes, I'm sorry, you might have already mentioned this, but run that by us one more time. And Isaiah Rodgers like, I thought, yeah. So I've been playing gunner. I've been playing gunner throughout my career, and I thought I knew that I could go and push a guy into another guy, and I could get the penalty, and then they picked the flag up, and I know they're going to pick the flag up, and they picked the flag up. Nick Sirianni was asked about it. So bottom line is Isaiah Rodgers was asked by 3 dumbfounded reporters that he was answering this question so honestly, and also dumbfounded that he didn't know the rule, and he's a veteran. And then Nick Sirianni after the game is like, yeah, we definitely, we tell our players what the rules are and stuff. Oh, damn it. I was already having a bad enough time in this press conference. Now I got to answer the question for this veteran. Doesn't know the rules. Anyway, football is fun. That was a horrible effort, horrible coaching, atrocious execution yesterday by the Eagles. And I'd be hard pressed to find a time where the Eagles, the game it brought me back to, I think it was week 2 of the first year of Nick Sirianni. And this might have been the game where Nick Sirianni was like, I'm not going to call plays. Okay, not calling plays. Remember they went down to Dallas and I think Fletcher Cox fell on a ball in the end zone for a touchdown in the early goings, and it made you feel like, okay, maybe they're still in this game. But the Cowboys were so blown off the ball. The Eagles, I think, they were close to about maybe 1 or 2 first downs in the entire first half, something like that. And I remember thinking, when they went to Dallas, they knew they were going to play football, right? Like this wasn't a field trip. Like they know the bye week is next week, right? You know, this isn't the bye week, right? Next week we do nothing. This week we do something. We play football. But maybe since that Dallas game, that's the last time I remember looking at the Eagles and going, they're not prepared for this. At least last year in the playoffs against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I looked at the team and I went, yeah, this is about right. This is what they've been doing for the last 6 weeks of the season. I expect this. I did not expect going into this game for them to look as terrible as they did. Because here's the other part of it. A.J. Brown, out. Devontae Smith, out. Lane Johnson, out. Defense, pretty much intact. You got Darius Slay with a little knee injury there. He's trying to fight his way through it, right? The next man up mentality. Did anybody tell the next man? Johnny Wilson, you're up. Dallas Goedert, now's your time to shine. And he has that drop in the first quarter. Hey, Jalen Hurts, you don't have your huge weapons, okay? Sure, things can be easier with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. There's a reason they make that money because, they're worth it when it comes to winning football games. But you know who else is making money? Jalen Hurts. This is an opportunity I looked at for Jalen Hurts when you get to the quarterback and how he played yesterday in this whole crap storm, okay? Jalen Hurts did not meet the challenge. And I'm not saying it was easy by any means yesterday. Let's get that out of the way. But one of the things I absolutely learned from the Carson Wentz era was that you can't be part of the problem if you're the quarterback. And three things actually really drove me crazy yesterday. One was just overall accuracy. Dallas Goedert should have had that ball. Was it overthrown a little bit? Yeah, but he should have had that ball. So I'm not even talking about that one. First play of the game for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts gets flushed out of the pocket. He's being chased. Saquon Barkley is streaking up the sideline. Nobody is between him and the end zone. Jalen Hurts rolling to his right, sees Saquon down the field on the sideline. He's got 3 defenders on the inside of him. All Jalen Hurts has to do is air that football out down the sideline and let Saquon Barkley run under that thing. You heave that thing as far as you can. There's no safety over the top that's going to take that football away. And instead, he throws the ball. He airmails it out of bounds. I wasn't sure if in the moment Jalen Hurts was saying, let me just get rid of it because I'm in pursuit or because they're pursuing me. He had plenty of room between him and the sideline when he let it go. So it wasn't like he was about to be tackled, and then he was not brought down to the ground in that play. And instead of giving Saquon a chance to make a play, he throws it out of bounds. And I thought, is he throwing it away, or was that just a bad throw? And then after the game, he said 2 things that didn't make sense. He missed him, meaning he was trying to get at the Saquon, airing it out down the field. And then he said, and I threw it away. Huh? What is it? So hold on a second. What was the goal there? Was the goal to get him the football, or was the goal abort mission? Because you could sell me on both, which is unfortunate. But the bottom line is the play was there to be made. Jalen Hurts didn't make the play. On that first possession, it was Jalen Hurts' turn to make a play. He didn't make a play. Next possession, Dallas Goedert's turn to make a play. He didn't make a play. Later in the game, I see Jalen Hurts overthrowing Jahan Dotson. I see him overthrowing Johnny Wilson. When you watch other quarterbacks without their best weapons, that's their opportunity to play point guard and just try to get the football with those guys in stride. Be accurate. Give those guys an opportunity to make a play. Jalen wasn't doing that yesterday. You know who was doing that yesterday? Saquon Barkley. Damn, he's good. Thank God for Saquon Barkley. He's pretty awesome. The other thing that drove me crazy, so accuracy I'll look at with Jalen overall. Decision-making, still bad. And that fumble. 30-14. Another special teams blunder. This one with Keely Ringo. Eagles are driving. 2:44 left in the third quarter. At that point, it was 30-16. Jalen Hurts, and this is one of the things that drives me crazy. He drops back on first down. There's pressure. He sidesteps the pressure. Pressure comes back, knocks the ball out of his hands. Okay. after the game, Nick Sirianni was saying, like, that's not on Jalen. I understand that the O-line can't get beat like that, and they got beat like that. So, yeah, do I look at the offensive line? Absolutely, I look at the offensive line. But there's such a thing as awareness, pocket presence, feeling the pressure. I think they said after the game he was going for Johnny Wilson on that play. Get the hell out of the pocket. There are plenty of instances where you can look at Jalen Hurts and say, oh, you got to feel that pocket, and you got to step up, you got to make a throw. That was not one of them. That was you almost getting trapped back there and trying to have a quick release all of a sudden and get that ball downfield. Get out of the pocket, man. If there's that much pressure around you, you start to have things going in your favor finally as an offense. You finally have put points up on the board. Your special teams actually did make a play for you and blocking a point after and then taking it to the house for an extra 2 points. Way to go, fellas. And then Jalen Hurts turns the football over. I love Jalen Hurts, and I am rooting for him to correct these mistakes and nullify the turnovers and stop just giving the ball to the other team. But there is absolutely zero excuse for him to be standing in the pocket with that pressure around him. Get the hell out of there on first down. And if you got to, scramble. Buy time. Take 3 yards. Slide. Whatever you got to do. Making that throw. You mean to tell me you couldn't feel that pressure after he goes right by you? You thought you had all day after that? And the windup. Good God, you're in a phone booth at that time. That was beyond frustrating, and it's become, talk about things becoming the norm. That's become the norm for the Eagles. While I'm talking about the offense, Shane Steichen against Todd Bowles. Not a lot of success. Brian Johnson is the offensive coordinator last year. The Eagles had one of their biggest wins of the season against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One of the biggest wins of the season. Over 10 points they won. Oh, my goodness gracious. Kellen Moore is supposed to be some guru. And talk about some time to shine. Just like Jalen Hurts. It's so much easier when you have the ball to throw to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and you have Lane Johnson as your right tackle and all that stuff. It's so much easier to play that game, right? Well, it's also easier to be a play caller for those guys. So the offensive genius, the whiz kid, right, in Kellen Moore, yesterday should be an opportunity just like Jalen for him to have a time to shine. Oh, look, I don't have the number one pieces to this puzzle, but I can still complete it. What did Kellen Moore do anything yesterday to make you go, wow, he's great? Brian Johnson had better success against Todd Bowles last year. And the guy that was brought in to correct all these mistakes and be the new offensive whiz kid and be the game planner, be the play caller and all that stuff, I didn't see any of that working out too well for the Eagles yesterday. He was supposed to be a difference. I didn't see much of a difference yesterday. All in all, when I look at this game, the number one thing that jumps out to me is when I'm talking about special teams making mistakes, when I'm talking about Jalen making mistakes, when I'm talking about the offense as a whole making mistakes, when I'm talking about the players cramping and feeling dehydrated and Cam Jurgens going out and coming back with cramps and Jalen Carter going out, coming back with cramps. And when I'm talking about literally every facet of the game, not just special teams, defense, and offense, but training, coaching, preparation, all of that. Failure. Epic failure yesterday. And one of the things that does really bother me about this game is that when I look at Jalen Carter playing against the Saints and thinking, again, that was going to be the new norm for him, and then looking at Baker Mayfield as a guy who was sacked 7 times in the previous week by the Broncos, and then sacked, 5 times in the week before that? And the Eagles come up with, 2 sacks yesterday? That's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. I think I used the word ill-prepared on post-game yesterday. Ill-prepared means like you were at least a little prepared, but that's just not prepared well. Like they weren't prepared, period. They were not prepared to play that football game yesterday. So now we're looking at 1-5 last year to end the season. We're looking at 2-2 to start this season, right? Now that's not including the playoffs of last year. Okay, so what? 1-6, including the playoffs. Yeah, 2-8 ain't great. 2-8 ain't great. I would say that, now's the time you have to fire Nick Sirianni. And we've never seen, in all his years of owning the Philadelphia Eagles, we've never seen Jeffrey Lurie go out there early in a season and go, nope, this ain't it. Nick, you're fired. Or head coach, you're fired. The worst he's done is Chip Kelly not finishing the year. And that was one game left and Pat Shurmur took over. I would not blame Nick Sirianni, or excuse me, I would not blame Jeffrey Lurie at all for being like, yeah, Nick, you're out. Kellen, you're taking over. However, as I just stated with Kellen Moore not being it, he's never been a head coach. And we're having problems with preparation. So now all of a sudden you're going to make that change. I get it. And I do not think that Nick Sirianni is qualified for this position. And I'm looking at everything he has done well in his coaching career. And I'm looking at this team right now be far from the Nick Sirianni teams that we've seen start out seasons 10-1, like they have the previous two seasons. That's being prepared. That's supposedly what Nick Sirianni was doing well. And people that would say, he doesn't call plays. What does he do? I'm like, well, he seems to prepare his team pretty damn well. The 10-1 back-to-back years, it's pretty impressive. Now this year they're 2-2. This year the struggles of last year have carried over. You have changed huge pieces of your coaching staff with defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. Your head coach barely has any more power. He can say, fourth down, go for it. Kick the field goal. Hey, I got to play for fourth down. Let's run this. That's it. That's what he's limited to. And you want to go into this bye week. And you want to look in the mirror and you want to tell me that you're going to maintain status quo, Jeffrey Lurie? Well, it seems you didn't really give yourself the options that you thought you would. Doesn't seem like you gave yourself the options. Thought, okay, well, we got Kellen Moore here in case things go awry with Nick Sirianni. Now the Kellen Moore offense is still turning the football over. Gets outmatched and outplayed by Todd Bowles. Vic Fangio, I don't think he wants any parts of being a head coach at this point in his career. I mean, let's face it, he's here in Philadelphia because it's close to his family. Miami isn't exactly close to his family. That's why he's here. Oh, and he still wants to be a defensive coordinator. I don't think he wants any part of being a head coach. So, what do you do at this point? Stout? You go Stout, make him the head coach? I want the Eagles to make the change because I know Nick Sirianni ain't it. And I heard Jason Kelsey on WIP the other day talking about great team meetings and all that stuff. Like he runs a meeting better than anity and all that stuff. And Jason has been through Reed and he's been through, of course, Chip Kelly. He was through Pat Shurmur for one game. He was through Doug and now Nick. So he certainly has experience with coaches. But man, oh man, this is how we're gonna do 2024. If AJ and Devontae were healthy, maybe it's a different story. Really? Jalen was running for his life often. Very often in this game. You can't watch a football team stroll out of the football field and look that unprepared to play. Everybody looked unprepared in yesterday's game. Horrendously embarrassing. 24-0. Touchdown, 3 and out. Touchdown, 3 and out. Touchdown. 3 and out. Good God, man. I'm sorry, it was 24-0 before the Eagles got their first down of the game. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I thought it was 21. It is 24-0. Jalen scrambled for 7 yards to get a first down on a 3rd and 6. Absolutely pathetic. Who is in your crosshairs when it comes to this Philadelphia Eagles team? Number one, if you could ask somebody right now and say, yep, don't come back. Who's that person? Howie? Do you go Howie on that? Do you go Nick? Do you go Kellen? Do you go Vic Fangio? Do you just cut a player out, right? By the way, snap count-wise, Bryce Huff's numbers, huge. He went from 38% to 43%. How about that? Brandon Graham had himself a huge sack. Talk about possibly turning the tides of the game. Brandon Graham had that huge sack, drilled him back 11 yards in the first quarter. And the very next play was, I think it was the very next play, was the punt, to which Isaiah Rodgers stupidly pushed, forget who it was, from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers into Cooper DeJean. So that killed that fun momentum, if you want to call it momentum. At least somebody made a play. Yeah. Not fun. I'm sorry. It was second. Okay, it was 3rd and 15. Baker Mayfield misses Otten, who had a hell of a game yesterday. And then 4th and 15, they punt. And that's where Cooper DeJean gets, unfortunately, charged with the muffed punt. And it gets recovered by the Bucs. Bing, bang, boom, touchdown. That was the 1-yard touchdown run. Reed Blankenship trying to tackle Baker Mayfield at his ankles, as opposed to just wrapping him up at the hips and driving him back away from the goal line. 4th and 1. 4th and 1. It would have stayed a 14-0 game at that point instead of 21-0. So we're all having fun. We're all having fun. Ringo running into his own guy on a punt return. That's fun. We're all having fun still. Paris Campbell got himself a touchdown. And that was the other killer about the fumble from Jalen Hurts. You're down 24-7. Sorry, you're down 24-0. Come out of halftime. Yeah, you come out of halftime, it's 24-7. Barkley has the huge run, 59 yards coming out of halftime. Tush push touchdown, 24-14. Eagles get the ball back later after a touchdown, but blocking the extra point. So they return that for 2. So it's 30-16. And then Hurts fumbles the football on the 19-yard line. Oh, look, another red zone turnover. We're all having fun. On first down as well. We're all having fun. We're not having fun. We're not having fun. Before I go any further, I do want to let you guys hear from Nick Sirianni after the game. Just seemed dumbfounded. Here's the opening comments, Nick Sirianni, from yesterday.
We obviously didn't start good or start well. I mean, down 24-0 to start things off. Obviously, no excuse for that. We didn't come out. We didn't coach well enough, and we didn't play well enough.
Why do you look so disorganized and undisciplined? I mean, your teams to this point have been, no matter what the talent level, you've been pretty cohesive.
Yeah. I felt like, again, as I say, we didn't coach well enough, we didn't play well enough, and that's always going to start with me. If we go out there and lay an egg and we're down 24-0, that's going to start on me. I didn't have the guys ready to start. But our fundamentals, all right, weren't what we needed it to be. We'll make sure that we're working hard on that, and the bye week's coming at a good time. We got to get our bodies right, and we got to make some changes as far as what's going on fundamentally. Early on in the game, I thought we had some missed tackles. Thought we had a couple drops, and those are going to stop drives, and those are going to extend drives. And that's where we got it. That's where it's going to have to start with fundamentals. Then it's going to be looking at where, what kind of positions we're putting the guys in. But yeah, we didn't play well enough, like you said, and coach well enough fundamentally, penalty wise, everything.
That question by Marcus Hayes there at the end is fantastic. It's such a great question. It was, hey, you're normally like at this part of the season, you guys are like prepared and you guys are ready, to play the game and stuff. You're organized usually. Today you weren't organized. It was really dysfunctional, and that was good. So tell me why was that? Why was that? Have you not played Tampa a lot recently? Oh no, you have. You have played Tampa a lot. That's crazy. And Todd Bowles has been around a long time. Oh, you studied him. Oh, okay. So what the hell happened? That was a great question. He also says, he goes on to say, it's all in the details. For me, when I hear details, I hear about tackling, I hear about game plan, I hear about preparation, I hear about everything. I hear I talked about defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, head coach, training staff, and overall preparation of this game. It's in the details. Okay. It's in the details. Let's pay attention to the details. Hey, Nick, what are you doing for the bye week?
This game is always going to come down to the details and fundamentals. Like, did you tackle well enough? Did you take care of the ball well enough? Did you come after the ball yourself well enough? Did you block well enough? And I just didn't think our details and fundamentals were up to our par, up to our standard. And again, when that happens, you got to look at yourself in the mirror first, and I'm at myself in the mirror first. Are we doing the right things at practice? Are we doing the right drills? Are we doing so? We'll do a deep dive into not only scheme this upcoming week, sitting at 2-2 at the bye, but we'll also look at how are we helping these guys become better fundamentally. Again, with drills, with what we do at practice, with how we watch the tape, everything will be dissected, trying to get a win off the bye.
Dissected. So help me God if I see one Eagles player like on a boat or something. Now, I get it's their vacation and they need to get away from it. And maybe that's what maybe they do need a boat ride. Maybe they need to be on a yacht somewhere. You know what I mean? But what we were hoping for at the start of this season was, hey, show me that you guys corrected a lot of the things that went wrong last year. Right now, it seems like the only thing that's corrected is that you got Saquon Barkley. That seems to be the only, that seems to be a big difference. That's it. That's all that seems to be different. Bryce Huff is a complete bust. I missed the hell out of Hassan Reddick. Josh Sweat got a sack. That was nice to see. But the missed tackles of last year, and James Bradbury, let's not forget, is not playing for this defense anymore. James Bradbury, he ain't there to blame. Vontae Maddox missing tackles. In the first quarter of the game, yeah, because it was the start of the second quarter. First quarter of the game, I'm like, well, at least Reed Blankenship came to play. And then he had the goal line play with Baker Mayfield. I'm like, not the way I would have done it, but okay. And then Reed had to leave the game at one point. He came back, I think it was. It was insane. It was absolutely insane to talk about not paying attention to details. Speaking of details, here's the great, oh man, put this one in the quote Hall of Fame. Isaiah Rodgers, veteran player, not knowing the rules of the game. This is the third time in the locker room, in succession, as I laid out for you guys before. The way this happened was one reporter asked him about, hey, what happened? Next reporter's like, come again? What'd you do? Third reporter's like, no, seriously, explain it to me one more time. Here it is.
What happened on the punt?
Me being a gunner in my career, I know not to hit the punt returner. So with me guarding him, I thought to myself, I'm going to push him into the returner and get the flag because, that's part of the game. So I kind of thought it was going to be a flag, which it was, but they eventually picked it up and said because I pushed him. So I never heard that before, but, it is what it is.
I never heard that before. I never heard that before. I mean, it's almost comical. Like if I didn't, like I unfortunately I care about the well-being of the Eagles fan base, so I understand our mental state right now might not be at its best. But there are some times where you just gotta look at something and be like, "What the hell is going on?" Veteran player. I know he was suspended. I know he'd been out of the league for a minute, right? A year. Comes back, doesn't know the rule. I've been a gunner throughout my career, so I need to go and watch every play that Isaiah Rodgers, every punt that he's been a gunner on, and be like, how many times have you tried this stuff? How many times have you tried this stuff? Because I feel like at this point I'm getting punked. That's what I feel like right now. I feel like this is one of them horrible social media pranks where like someone's about to get popped for trying to pull a prank. And they're like, it's a prank, it's a prank. And I just feel like Isaiah Rodgers is about to be cut. Even after he blocked the point after. For that dumbassery. But that was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. As for your quarterback, I agree with everything Jalen Hurts had to say after yesterday.
I think overall, I just have to play better. I got to play better. I have a ton of opportunities to lead the offense and really play complimentary ball, and it starts with me on that side of the ball. And I would get down like we did. We got to help. I have to help the defense out, executing, communicating. The things that I'm seeing on the field, and just trying to really create the momentum that we need just to get in the end zone. It starts with me in terms of getting in the end zone and leading drives, and I didn't do a good enough job with that.
Nope. Unfortunately, he didn't. And I was looking for, as a Jalen Hurts fan, I was really hoping that no matter what happened with Johnny Wilson and Jahan Dotson as the number one, no matter what was going to happen with Paris Campbell getting that touchdown back in the end zone. Nice to see ya. And Jalen, bang, right on the numbers. Great play by Jalen on that. Rolls to his right, gets out of the pocket, looks up, keeps his eyes up downfield, and there's Paris Campbell, and bang, right in the numbers. Touchdown. Way to go, Jalen. I was really looking forward to this game as him being the deodorant to a lot of stink. And unfortunately, it still stinks. Even more so because it was so humid yesterday. Baker Mayfield was asked after the game by Aaron Andrews about, just the conditions of the game. How do you play in these conditions? She said, I can't imagine playing in these conditions. So tell me how these conditions affect you. And Baker Mayfield said, I changed my pants at halftime. Thank you for that, Baker Mayfield. It was definitely stanky down there, but nothing stank more than the Philadelphia Eagles trying to play football yesterday. And I was hearing the excuse and seeing the excuse from people in our chat yesterday during the post-game show, and we had talked about it as well, just about the remedy for dehydration and cramping and all that. And my argument was, what's the remedy for sucking at football? Because if you want to talk about dehydration or you want to talk about fatigue and you want to talk about cramping and all that, I can start entertaining that at the end of the first half, certainly in the third quarter, certainly in the fourth quarter. But in the first 3 possessions of the game, what are we doing? What's the remedy for being terrible? Not being terrible? Being coached better? Having some desire and will to play? Let's go to the missed tackles here for a second, because here's the one thing I'll say about Vic Fangio. If his players tackled, then it doesn't look as bad yesterday. Right out of the gate, Nakobe Dean missed a huge tackle on White. White ran for 17 yards. The game goes on. Ball had a tip ball there in that first possession. Goes right into White's hands. That's that. This is all about discipline. Maddox misses a tackle on the Godwin 28-yard reception. It was in the backfield. Catches it in the flat. Maddox goes, swoof, streaking by. Godwin's like, what was that breeze I just felt? I needed that breeze and the humidity. Thank you, breeze. Oh, that was Avonte Maddox. Boom, 28 yards downfield. Palmer gets a touchdown on Slay. Oh, God, a Jomo yesterday with the penalties. The encroachment. Shot of life on 2nd and 4 on the 49-yard line with the Brandon Graham sack. Looking at my notes from yesterday. Good God. Oh, the pass interference on Blankenship on Evans on the 3rd and 7. It's Mike Evans, so it's hard to say a ball is uncatchable. But either way, Blankenship was there way early. Another mistake by Blankenship. Evans had a 12-yard catch. Blankenship missed a tackle early in the route. Oof. I was trying to actually keep track of a lot of the missed tackles yesterday. First half of the game, Tampa 18 first downs. Eagles 6. Tampa Bay 44 plays to the Eagles 27. I actually thought that was a lot. That was surprising. Time of possession in the first half. You ready for some funsies? Tampa Bay Buccaneers 20 minutes 14 seconds. Philadelphia Eagles 9 minutes 46 seconds. More than double the amount of time of possession. Hurts at the half was 7 for 15 with a touchdown. Barkley had 22 yards rushing. Came out of the gate strong in the second half. Oh, my goodness gracious. Pretty terrible. Yeah. Let me tell you about the Game Time app. Hey, Phillies playoffs are around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. That's exciting. Download the Game Time app to your phone. Create an account. Use promo code Farzy and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. That's right. Download the Game Time app to your phone. Create an account. Use promo code Farzy. Get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. You want to go to the game? Game Time app. They have last-minute ticket deals, flash ticket deals. They even have ticket deals for an hour after the event starts. So let's say you're going to a concert or a comedy show. You don't care about seeing the opening act, the middle, but you want to save money and see that headliner that you love so much. Game Time app has great deals an hour after the event starts. You can also toggle this feature. The Game Time Picks feature allows you to filter out all the fluff so you just see the best seats for the best prices with the Game Time Picks feature. Also, don't forget to toggle the all-in feature as well. So you know what that means? Game Time all-in pricing feature means you can see the final price before you check out. So you don't have that sticker shock when you go to check out and be like, how these $20 tickets become $30? What the hell happened there? No, boom. Toggle the all-in pricing feature on the Game Time app. And let's not forget about the Game Time guarantee. If you find tickets for the same section and same row for less money elsewhere, the Game Time app will credit your account 110% of the difference. That's the Game Time guarantee right there, courtesy of the Game Time app. What time is it? Game time. Use promo code Farzy on the Game Time app for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsNation.com. Let's get into the chat check and see how you wonderful people are doing on this fine Monday morning. Oh, my goodness gracious. Dan leads it off. Oh, Dan off of Twitter. What's going on? Is this front office putting their thumbprint on the team philosophy, handcuffing the coaches? Dan, I wouldn't be surprised. But something tells me you're not bringing in Kellen Moore to manhandle him. You're bringing in Kellen Moore to do his thing. IBH, hello, good morning. Daz, need a quarterback and Bill Belichick. There's no question about it. Well, here's the deal, Daz. Here's honestly where I'm thinking. This is my line of thinking. If this team does continue to be terrible, if they play the rest of the season like they played yesterday, for instance, and you're going to do a complete overhaul, maybe Bill Belichick becomes maybe Howie's out, and Jeffrey Lurie just goes, Bill Belichick, head coach and general manager. Here you are. Or even maybe Bill Belichick decides that he wants Howie. Maybe Nick, I see this as being on the table, and I think it's crazy, but I think it's still on the table. Bill Belichick comes in, retains Nick Sirianni as offensive coordinator. I could see it happening. And I say I could see that happening because the article that came out from, I think it was Tim McManus, talking about how much Jeffrey Lurie loves a project and how much he loves Nick Sirianni. And Nick Sirianni, in the time he's been here, has given up play calling. He's really given up game planning. The responsibility, we've covered it well, the dwindling responsibility. Maybe he'd be willing to take that demotion from head coach to offensive coordinator. I could see him doing it. I could totally see him doing it. Because his line of thinking would be, I get to work for Bill Belichick. It's not the great thing. It's not what I set out to do. It's not my goal. Odds are I'm probably going to go somewhere else to be an offensive coordinator. So I think it's better that if I'm going to be an offensive coordinator, who better to be an offensive coordinator for than Bill Belichick? You have to think like Nick Sirianni on that. Trust me, we look alike. I know. IBH, I'm reserving judgment for the Birds until the receivers are back. Phil's look destined for an incomplete grade. Oh, Phillies look destined for an incomplete grade. Oh. Daz, hello? 1 o'clock games in that stadium are obviously brutal. I won't ever go to another game at that stadium at 1 o'clock. I've done it 3 times now and never again. Daz, I wouldn't want to sit there. Watch that. No, thanks. Sean Kilrain, what's popping? James Alexander, hello. I'm awake, or you? Yes. Reed Blankenship. Reed Blankenship was so embarrassed he checked himself out of the game. Sad stuff. James Alexander, that was the worst thing I've seen from special teams. Very immature. Daz, this defense gets lit up by quarterbacks that love playing this 10-yard off-the-ball style defense. Yep. That's why Dak always does good against us, too. It's easy. Oh, it's easy mode. Yes. Oh, geez. Did I do it again? I did it again. Another typo. Did I not hit 16? Thank you. See, I needed this. Babel 244. I needed that. I needed it last week, too, because I said the Phillies are playing in Tampa. That was way off. That was way off. Can I do this right now? I'm going to do this right now. I can't do it while the show's going on. Or maybe I could do it on YouTube. Can I do it on YouTube while the show's going on? Hey! 16. This is, because if I don't do it now, I'm going to forget. And nobody wants that. Let's do it like this. Bang. Ready? Here we go. Ready? Hey, go across the middle. This is live editing, ladies and gentlemen. This is live editing. This is as invigorating as the Eagles game was yesterday. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Okay. I don't even think I could do this on YouTube or on Twitter. Oh, damn you all. I can't do it. All right, whatever. Get out of that. All right, Farzi. I think the Phils lose the NLDS to the Brewers. Mets winner. Just the nature of the beast. The Fightins are not the contender I think they are. Yeah, I want to concentrate on the Phils maybe tomorrow. Eagles, Farzi can't bench the bar. What's going on, man? Oh, you had that last comment as well. And the Eagles stink. It's time to drop the puck for the Flyers. All right. Looking forward to Flyers. That's a rarity. Eagles suck. Go Flyers. You don't hear that transition too often. This Sean Kilrain, hello. This loss to me all falls on Chiriani. I see him as good as gone by season's end. Do you agree, Farzi? I wouldn't be shocked if later today that was that. Like, in all honesty, it would not be shocking to me if they end up firing Nick Sirianni now. All right, so yeah, at the end of the year, yeah, I could totally see it happening. The only chance we had was if the defense could hold them. Yep, I agree. And they couldn't do it. Ian East, thank you. Jordan Coughlin, morning, Farzi. Thank you, Jordan. Hello. Jalen didn't look motivated. That's a great way to put it. Jalen did not look motivated at all yesterday. Rodney Burton, what's happening? Goddard dropped passes and Cam Jurgens was out some point. Landon Dickerson was a center. Yeah, he was a center. Stop eating our cats. Okay. That sack fumble we've seen a million times. We finally showed some fight and boom, takes all the air out of our sails. Absolutely. I did. I look, Eagles fan. I did see Bowles on the sideline laughing. I don't think that was after a double. I think it was double penalties on the Eagles. Sean Cohen, Hurst says to stop focusing on one guy. He had Dotson, Campbell, Ross, Goddard, Barkley. Like, come on, man. Chucky can't read a defense. Stop eating our cats. I'm sick of Hurts as my quarterback. He's a good motivational speaker, but now, oh God, now we're back on the motivation. Well, you guys are really popping off in the comments. I appreciate you guys. This is not a franchise quarterback. Sean Gillespie, hello. Utterly damn ridiculous injuries or not. Lazy preparation, play, and coaching. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Sean. April. Good morning, fam. That ish was embarrassing. I concur. Try to make sure I get everybody in here. Daz, guarantee Bill has them prepared week to week. Chucky Brown, the puppet. That was all Shane. Ian East. Sirianni should never have been brought back after last year. I agree. You can't have a team end that bad and there be consequences, but the head coach stays. True. I don't know what the message sends. Well, it sends that, hey, this is fine. We're all fine here. Daz, Ian. Oh, my God. Yes, Daz. Oh, when was that? Nolan Smith covering Chris Godwin. Oh, I shouted that out in the green room. I said, it couldn't have been. It was? That's terrible. Jordan's tired of Slay. So am I. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful. Devontae, CJ, GJ talks all that trash before the game and gets cooked. He was terrible. Cries about the pushing off. That was bad. Joe, pay a quarterback all that money like you did with Wentz. Good God. Yeah, that's not good. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Appreciate you guys being along for the ride here. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow for the next edition of the Farzy Show. And also, we'll talk a little bit about those Phillies as well. Appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your day. More of me on Fox 29 later today. Catch you guys then. See you later. Bye.